And good evening, my friends. Welcome to the Washington WrestleCast, coming to you from the Best Western Plus Hotel and Suites in Atlanta, Georgia. That is right. This episode is on on tour. I'm on vacation right now from work, so um, not haven't really been paying attention to much of anything in the world of wrestling. Um, so let's get right to it. Monday night on Raw, we had the confrontation between Batista and Triple H, where it was confirmed that Triple H will face Batista at WrestleMania. I am reading right now that uh, Bullet Bob Armstrong, at age 79, wrestled his final match last night in Pensacola. Now, Bob Armstrong is a Hall of Famer, a WWE Hall of Famer. This is his 59th year as a professional wrestler. 59 years. That is amazing. He's held championship gold as part of the National Wrestling Alliance over 55 times. Um, he comes from a long, he's the patriarch of, the Armstrong family, of course. Some names is Steve Armstrong of the Young Pistols, tag team with Tracy Smothers, Scott Armstrong, who's a referee now in WWE, the late Brad Armstrong, who was a solid wrestler in the 80s and 90s before he tragically passed away in the 2000s. And of course, probably his most famous son and soon to be Hall of Famer, Brian, uh, better known as Road Dogg. In fact, Road Dogg was the one who introduced his father to the ring last night. Um, so, it's good to see that. It's good to see the family lineage continue on there. Um, Last night was Ring of Honor's 17th anniversary pay-per-view. Um, there was a world title match announced that at the Madison Square Garden show, the G1 Supercard, Jay Lethal will defend his world title against Matt Taven and Marty Scurll in a triple threat ladder match. Well, I guess it was Friday night was the 17th anniversary in Las Vegas. Lethal and Taven went to a 60-minute time limit draw. Um, so let's. Oh, and well, it looks like the Young Bucks, uh, the Rey de Reyes from AAA, uh, was last night, which means, um, judging by uh, the array of talent that they had last night, the Lucha Bros, Cody, um, and of course the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks actually won the AAA Tag Team Championships, and it comes as no surprises because AAA has a working agreement with All Elite Wrestling now, so it shouldn't come as a shock. We'll see how long the Young Bucks hold on to the title. The New Japan Cup's been going on for over a week now. Right now, the quarterfinal matches are set. Um, We have uh, Okada versus Will Ospreay and Ishii versus Yoshihashi. Those take place on Wednesday. The winners of those matches will face each other in the semifinals, while in the other quarterfinal matches, there's Tanahashi versus Zack Sabre Jr. and Sonata versus Colt Cabana. Colt Cabana is the last American left in the New Japan Cup tournament. So he defeated Toru Yano on early this morning in Japan, and Sonata defeated Minoru Suzuki. So the semifinals will be held next Saturday, and the finals will take place a week from today. The winner will challenge Jay White for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship at the G1 Supercard at Madison Square Garden the night before WrestleMania. So it looks like a lot of, there's a lot of things that happen around WrestleMania season. Of course, there's the NXT show, which is going to happen that same night in Brooklyn. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see what happens. I mean, you've got the G1 Supercard at Madison Square Garden. You've got, I'm sure WrestleCon will happen probably in New Jersey, somewhere near WrestleMania, because they do that every year. And of course, you got NXT Takeover, where it was announced, at the TV tapings this past week. Triple H came out and officially stripped Tommaso Ciampa of the NXT title because Ciampa underwent spinal fusion surgery last week. And in a first, the WWE showed the graphic pictures of the surgery, and for the first time ever, I saw what they do, and it was probably the most, I don't know, surreal thing I've ever seen. But Triple H announced a five-way match with the winner facing Johnny Gargano in a 2 out of 3 falls match at TakeOver New York. Adam Cole ended up winning that match, so we now have Adam Cole versus Johnny Gargano in a 2 out of 3 falls match for the NXT title. And I just got a notification on Twitter that says it's from Rudo Lightning in Scotland. Moments after shocking the WrestleZone audience in Aberdeen, in a bizarre twist of events, I now enter Aberdeen Anarchy on April 13th as the defending undisputed champion. So that's kind of cool, actually. I've been a fan of Rudo Lightning, or Red Lightning, as he's also known as, for a few years now. I mean, he comes from ICW, the same company that gave us, Wolfgang, the Coffee Brothers, Noam Dar, those guys that you see on NXT UK. ICW also produced somebody by the name of Drew McIntyre, and you can check out their shows on YouTube. You can also check them out on their on-demand service, icwondemand.pivotshare.com, and for $6.99 a month, you can get all their shows that and their big shows that happen 24 hours after they happen. So if you don't like reading the results, you can always check out the shows. Brock Lesnar is set to appear at Monday Night Raw tomorrow. Dean Ambrose is to appear at the Cauliflower Alley Club reunion after his contract expires. So, and that is April 29th through May 1st. So, apparently it's not a work. So, Um, Dean Ambrose is officially leaving the WWE. There will be a gauntlet match this week to kick off SmackDown as Kofi Kingston looks to get his WrestleMania moment, you know, as he faces Randy Orton, uh, United States champion Samoa Joe, Cesaro, Sheamus, and Rowan in a gauntlet match. And if he wins, he gets his title match with Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. They're saying it's not going to take up, as much time as the last gauntlet match did that, he was in, because he was in for an hour. And, they're making him be more like Daniel Bryan from a few years ago, if you recall, calling him a B plus player and everything like that. So it'll be interesting to see. So here are the results from the 17th anniversary show in Las Vegas for Ring of Honor. Marty Scurll defeated Kenny King. Jeff Cobb retained the ROH TV Championship when he defeated Shane Taylor. Mayu Iwatani, I think I said her name right, defeated former Women of Honor champion Kelly Klein to retain. And of course, Jay Lethal and Matt Taven went to a 1 hour time limit. After the match, Marty Scurll came out, stood over both Lethal and Taven, and he left with the ROH Championship. Bully Ray made an appearance when the rapper Mega Ran came out and performed a song about the upcoming G1 Supercard. And, Bully Ray comes out and made fun of Mega Ran, and Ran said he always played Devon instead of Bully Ray in the Raw versus SmackDown video games. And then he issued an open challenge New York street fight. So we'll see what happens there. Roosh defeated Bandito. Anytime you get two luchadors in America, you're bound to see something special. I mean, Bandito is just a unbelievable talent. I first saw him at the All In show. I watched him at the All In show when he was in the main event with Rey Mysterio and Phoenix versus the Young Bucks and Kota Ibushi. But he is fantastic. New ROH Tag Team Champions were crowned in a Las Vegas street fight when PCO and Brody King defeated the Briscoe brothers. That is somewhat surprising considering PCO is in his 50s. He's 51, and Brody King's in his late 20s. Brody King, however, he kind of reminds me, by his size and his style, of someone like, some of you younger listeners might not remember him. If you don't know him, I suggest you look at him. You look up his matches, and you'll know what I'm talking about. He kind of looks like a Bruiser Brody type or a Stan Hansen type, from the 70s and 80s. Just a big brawler. I mean, he's got the look, and he's got some talent. Don't get me wrong. But PCO, I mean, that guy's been around he's been around forever. I mean, I remember him when he was Pierre of the Quebecers in the early 90s, and he was the WWE Tag Team Champion with Jacques Rougeau, and then he became Jean-Pierre Lafitte, the Pirate. But a lot of people thought that, him wearing the eye patch was a work, and it's not. He legitimately has a glass eye from an accident when he was younger. But PCO and Brody King win the Ring of Honor Tag Team titles. Some new debuts in NXT at the NXT live show Friday night. Trevor Lee and ACH were defeated by the Forgotten Sons. Nick Camarado and Brendan Vink made their debuts. Matt Lee and Jeff Parker. So Matt Lee